What's going on, guys? So today we're looking at a zero tolerance knife that I don't like. It might be the first one I don't like. I like ZT. They're a pretty cool company. If you don't know, ZT is owned by KAI, which owns Shun Knives, which is all the kitchen stuff. You'll see at like Williams-Sonoma, you know, in kitchen stores. And the more known among this community, Kershaw. So essentially, ZT is like taking Kershaw, upgrading everything and making them here in America. That's what this is, the American-made, better version of Kershaw's. So ZT has been very successful overall. When they first hit, they hit the ground running. Everyone loves ZT. I don't hear them being talked about as much these days, but people still love them. And I've used dozens of their models, and they've all been awesome, except this one. And it's not because it doesn't perform. It performs fantastic. This one has a CPM S35VN blade. It's just ergonomics. That's all it comes down to, is ergonomics, and even the flipper, how it works. I'm just not a fan. So anyway, this one is the ZT0460CF. All right, there's also a version which is the 0460Ti. This one's discontinued, as is its brother. So probably for good reason. So this will be a little bit hard to find if you do find yourself being interested in getting one. But this one has the front scale as carbon fiber. This is actually a bronze carbon fiber, which you don't see too often. And unfortunately, in the camera screen here, it's not coming across, well, I guess kind of close. It looks like a very dull brown, okay, brown-black mix, but that's supposed to be bronze. Now it does have a a titanium frame lock on the other side, and the titanium version of this also has titanium frame lock. So the only thing that's different between the two is the top handle scale on the 0460Ti is titanium, and the blade steel. Now, here's the big kicker. When these were available, this particular model here sold for 160 bucks, again, with the special carbon fiber scale and S35VN. Now, here's the kicker. When this was available, this carbon fiber version sold for about 160 with the S35VN and the bronze carbon fiber. But if you threw on the titanium scale on top, you got a steel upgrade to CPM 20CV for 170. So for $10 more, that's definitely the version I would have picked. However, I traded for this knife, so I didn't get the option. But I did want to try it. Let me back out the camera a little bit more here for you. So yeah, I mean, I just saved the box for this one because I knew, you know, when I first got it, when I first started handling, I'm like, you know, I don't know if I'm gonna keep this one. And the more I used it, I just hung onto the box knowing that I would eventually trade or sell it. And that is exactly what I'm gonna do after this video. Like I said, the performance was fine, you know, it's just the ergonomics for me was a complete miss. Maybe it's just my hand size. You see, it's a pretty curved handle here, almost like banana shaped. The problem is that with my size hands anyway, anything that has a serious curve in the middle, what ends up happening is I try to jam my fingers in them. You know what I'm saying? Like, even not purposely trying to get them all within this space, when using the knife and gripping it, they get pinched. My fingers get pinched together just by their design. So a loose grip, it's fine. But when I start tightening my grip, it literally comes together. It becomes a little uncomfortable. Now in this case, you can see it looks like it would be ergonomic. My three fingers rest very nicely there, and there's kind of a flatter shelf here for the pinky. Now if I purposely hold it like that, it's not nearly as bad. However, I still get the rubbing on the flipper tab, okay? It's very subtle, it's very small, but that rubs the top of my finger and it's jimped, so it's just sharp enough to be annoying. Now, if the handle was uncomfortable and it wasn't rubbing on top of my finger and all that aside, I still don't like the actual flipper. The flipper, it's just a teeny tiny little nub sticking out of there. It's super uncomfortable to use. In fact, here's a huge tip. If you get this knife, or you might even know this if you already have the knife, but a lot of times for flippers, like I'll just, you know, push the top of the flipper. You can't do that with this knife. If you push down here, nothing happens. You get a massive dent in your finger and it's very uncomfortable. What I have to do is the flat spot that's on here, I have to rest my finger there and sweep. If I sweep back, then it opens. But even then, it's still uncomfortable to do. But oftentimes when I was carrying this knife, and sometimes when I do reviews, I'll carry a knife for like, you know, 2-3 days, or even just a day, and then I'll put it aside, then I'll revisit it later. Sometimes I'll take notes, especially if like I'll use it for a day or two, then I'll swap, and then like 2 or 3 weeks will go by. I have to literally keep notes so I remember what's what. But right off the bat, I just did not like that. I had a hard time actually even opening it. I probably fiddled it for a good 5 or 10 minutes before I realized how to, you know, comfortably, or at least more comfortably, sweep this flipper open. Okay, if you do it right, it's okay. It doesn't hurt or anything, but if you don't know that and you just go to push on this thing, it hurts. It really is uncomfortable. Now, once you get it actually open, there's no blade play at all. It's made very, very well. Again, the steel, I mean, it cuts phenomenally. It's a fantastic blade. CPM S35VN has always been good. ZT does a great job with the heat treat. The grinds are amazing. It's a good looking knife. It just comes down to ergonomics. It was not fun to actually use because it was uncomfortable. That's it. If this is a comfortable design, obviously the performance is here. The quality is definitely here. It is super smooth. I do like the finish a lot. It carried fine with this pocket clip. It is a little bit on the smaller side overall. The close is 4.25 inches. The blade is 3.25 inches, making it 7.5 inches open. So it's kind of medium to small for me. It's not a deep conceal clip at all. All right, I actually do like the clip. I don't mind the placement. It does stick out of the pocket just a little bit there. Not a big deal. There is no lanyard hole on here. All right, so if you were hoping to put a lanyard on here, it's obviously not an option. And as you can see, obviously it is tip up, but it's right side carry. There's no swap in that clip. So that's how it carries. If you don't like it, you can take the clip off. But it did carry totally fine because you have nice smooth titanium underneath there. I even like just the lines that are on the lock bar. All right, just it's a simple thing, but there's like some texture there. I just kind of like it. I think it does look really nice. There's a lock bar insert as well. Like I said, very high quality knife for sure. And it's kind of cool with that unique carbon fiber bronze top scale. But it's just the design. That's all. It was a complete miss for me in the design. So, carried it here and there, used it. And like I said, if I purposely put my 3 fingers in there and keep my pinky kind of separate on that flat end, it's not the end of the world. But when I do cut a little bit harder, it rubs in here. It's just not comfortable. So what happens when you get a knife that's not that comfortable, you just don't want to use it. And that's exactly what happened. I just didn't use this that much. It took me a long time to actually get ready for this video because I'd only carried it for a day or two, and I'm like, and I'd put it away, and I'd swap with other knives, and just kind of floated back and forth. It just wasn't that exciting. So here's a close-up on some of the markings, in case you guys want to see it. Again, there's that S35VN. There's the designer. I'm not going to mention his name because I'm probably going to say it wrong, even though a lot of people know what it is. And of course, you got the ZT logo on the front. Nice swept blade, very acute point, very nice for penetration. It opened boxes, fantastic. You could just dip into that cardboard like it's nothing, just like a hot knife through butter. But again, just the ergonomics was just, it was a letdown for me. That's all. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Anything in this world that you want, you can get. It's 2021, so we have the internet, and you can have things shipped from one place to another, anywhere on the planet. So if you really want one of those things, I'm sure you can track one down and find it. It'll probably be a little more expensive now that it's discontinued. Again, this was originally $160. Expect to pay maybe $180, $200, who knows, if one's brand new in the box. I wouldn't recommend it just because of ergonomics, but my hands aren't the same as everyone else. Obviously, if you have some smaller hands, maybe it's not as big of a deal to you. But regardless of your size of your hands, the flipper thing, I really like to know anyone who has either the 0460CF or the titanium version, what you think of this flipper, because I think that's a universal issue. Doesn't matter the size or shape of your hands. For me, it was just very uncomfortable. I really had to practice and get this sweeping motion down to be able to open this every time. I was really killing my pointer finger trying to just push in. So anyway, that's all. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have this knife, let me know what you think of it. Again, performance is there, quality is there, it's top notch, it cuts like a razor, but it's just uncomfortable, at least for me. So it's a pass. But thanks for watching. Hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.